friends. It's your girl, I am Sheila Michelle, and welcome back to another episode of I Am Sheila Michelle, the podcast. Today, we have a very, very special guest because not only is her name Sheila, but she is a global director of one of the top networking marketing firms in the world. She is also founder of Frontline, where you get on the front line of your own life. And so I want to welcome Sheila Monique Chipepa.
Yes.
Yes, I got it. Known as Coach Sheila Monique. So welcome, lady.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. First and foremost, I want to say this is so amazing. And thank you for even having me on your platform. It's beautiful.
Well, I'm so grateful to be sitting next to you. I remember the first time that I saw you online. I think you and Candace were partnered up for an event. And so when I won't say when I first got on social media, but I would say probably about, I don't know, maybe 6 to 9 months of being on social media and even understanding what an influencer is, right? Because you are an influencer, not just on social media, but off social media. I was just like, I'm going to be around these people. Like, I'm going to make my way and I'm going to be around these people because I'm going to be at XYZ level.
Hello.
And so how surreal is it, girl, for me to have you in my home, on my couch?
This is beautiful.
I appreciate that because when I saw influencers such as yourself, right, my whole thing was not, I want to be around them because I want to be in a clique, but it's because I wanted to attain that type of impact, right? You know, in the community, you know, within my particular lane. And so I'm just excited. I'm happy. You know, we've been connected for 2 years now. And I just feel like we just clicked. Like, you know, who would have knew that we just clicked? But let's get into it. So tell people about Frontline. Tell us about Frontline.
So Frontline Academy really and truly came from me just wanting to show people that they can get on the front line of their life in every area of their life. Like, you don't have to just be a good career, just have a great career. You can have a great career and you could be a great wife if you choose. You could be a great daughter. You could be great on your finances. You could be great in your health. Like, you could be great in your own feeling of happiness. Like, my goal is to just show people through my own life experiences that you have to get on the front line. Because I used to be the girl that was in the back of the line. And I ain't like how that felt. But there's stages and steps that you have to go through for yourself to get to the front of your line. But everybody has a different front line, but you just got to get to that front line.
Yes, I'm with it. That's vibes.
Thank you.
That's vibes. So one way you got on the front line of your life was losing 84 pounds in 7 months.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. Well, I've always been like a bigger girl, you know, and I've dealt with every kind of try to lose weight thing that was out there. Like, from, like, you remember, I don't know if you remember, like Hydroxycut and all that stuff that was out. I've tried everything. Military diet, love Beyonce, tried that too. Air diet, egg diet, everything you could think of. I've tried, and I would always like lose some weight, but then like a lot of weight will come back. Nobody really explained to me, like, I have a bad relationship with food. Every time something goes on emotionally, I go to food and alcohol. And I had to pay attention to that. So when I started to use TLC's products, I started with their, you know, their brewed cleansing tea, and I was like, whatever. Like, I'm just being 150% honest. Like, I just thought it was one of them things, you know, I used this way and used this product. I was like, whatever. I'm not about to do it.
Yeah.
But then everybody kept showing that they was doing it. I was like, well, all these people can't be lying.
Right.
So then I tried it for myself. And, you know, I lost like 7 pounds my first week. I wasn't excited because I had lost 10 pounds in 10 days with Michelle. So I was like, whatever. But I kept going with it. And I didn't know that I had 84 pounds to lose. I just knew that there was something different inside of me. So when I used it, I started walking, and no one believes me. Like, they look at my before and after picture, like, there's no way you just walk. All I did was walk every single day, though. That's the part that a lot of people miss. I didn't miss a day in 7 months. I didn't miss a day of taking the products in 7 months. I was very consistent. So I learned a lot about myself. I always say, we know how to be consistent, but we're just not consistent in the ways that we need to be. So I just needed to change my consistency from consistently going to happy hours every weekend or consistently eating all of the bad things to just learning how to have a better relationship with food and being consistent in that direction.
That is freaking amazing. And I think that all the girls who trying to have a hot girl summer, I need y'all to go follow at Coach Sheila Monique. She's on Facebook, IG, and YouTube, and soon to be TikTok.
Yeah.
Listen, get on the front line, y'all. Tell me about what was happening to you though, like mentally. So like you seeing this transformation, you starting to look good with the chi. I know hubby starting to squeeze some things extra tight, but like what was that like for you? Like what was that transformation mentally and emotionally?
So a lot of people don't know how it started. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Oh, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Okay, so
Okay.
I was in the
kitchen
kitchen
here
cooking, and I had on a sports bra and some sweatpants. I'll never forget. And I thought I was cute. I'm in the kitchen making something fatty with grease and a whole bunch of cheese probably. And my husband came in and he was like, at the time he wasn't my husband. He was my boyfriend. He was like, "You look like you're pregnant." See how you feel? See that? That instant reaction? See that?
Okay.
And I know everybody watching, I was like, I can't believe he said that to her. Yes, that's what he said to me. And immediately, thank God I turned the stove off, but I threw whatever down and I ran in the room and I just started crying. Because I was like, how could you love me, but then tell me that I look like I'm pregnant? And I'm crying hysterically. He came in the room and he's like, "Do you want to know why I said it to you?" And I was like, "No." In the back of my mind, of course I want to know, but I know. And then he was like, "Well, I'm going to tell you anyway." And he said, "I watch you. I watch you go up and down. Every Monday going to be the Monday you're going to change your life. Every Saturday going to be the Saturday you get it all together and you're going to organize everything." He was like, "Either you're going to be a big girl and you're going to love it, or you're going to do something about it. But this up and down stuff that you keep doing, it's not working." And that was the hardest reality check because he became the mirror that I didn't want to see. And from that moment, I was like, okay, you got to do something. I was afraid because how many times we try something and we fail and then we try again. Like only we know how many times we've really tried something before we succeeded at something. So when other people see the trying and failing, it kind of bothered me. But when I started to lose the weight, because I wore 2 waist trainers. Like people don't know these things about me. I'm just giving it to you. But I wore 2 waist trainers because I was so uncomfortable. I did not like to have sex because I felt like I was going to kill him or something. I'm being very for real. Like I didn't want him to hug me because then you're reminding me of my weight around my midsection. I was not confident. I used to tell people, my confidence was underneath the basement.
Gotcha.
I was stuck at a dead end job. Most people would have loved though. I mean, it was a great job for other people, but for me, I felt stuck. I felt like I didn't have no sense of purpose. And I went through this whole transition and I didn't know that when I lost the weight, I would gain so much. I had no idea, but I was this person who was okay with being in the background. I was okay with being less than. I was okay with living a mediocre life. And then as I started to, lose the weight and I started to find myself again, I was like, oh, you're still in there. Like, this isn't like something you were doing when you were just a kid. Like, you really are this powerful person. And it came out as I grew through all the things that happened in life over the last 4.5, 5 years. But really, the weight loss helped me find my confidence again. And like, as you're right. When the weight started coming up, he started squeezing on stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm not bothered by that this time. So if he hugged me, I'm like, oh, it was an adjustment for me because I had to get used to him hugging me again. I had to get used to like a lot of things again that I thought I just was going to just never get used to again.
That's a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I love how you were willing to be transparent and share those details because I think that, you talked about, yo-yoing and, not wanting to really be affectionate, right? And a lack of confidence. And so a lot of times people are so focused on the pain that they can't come up out of the pain to figure out what the actual problem was, right? So you're yo-yoing and, your confidence is like, on life support, right? But even though at that time you were overweight, you're not even necessarily realizing that it's overweight per se, that it's not the weight. You're not even necessarily realizing that the weight is the actual problem.
I wasn't connecting it at all.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
That's great. Now that you say that, I wasn't.
The weight was actually the problem. And so, and now your husband is an avid workout. He's Maniac, right?
Yeah.
What's his handle?
Maniac Mindset _.
Maniac Mindset. Was he as adamant about working out then as he is now?
No. So that's the craziest thing that, life lives, right? So I was big And then through a period of lifing, because me and Mo have been together for 13 years.
Okay.
Right? So we've been through, I think, everything that you can go through. I don't want to go through nothing else. I'm good. Right? I'm super good.
Right.
But there was a time where I was getting out of my, I don't want to say like depression. I just was like unfocused, unhappy. And he was getting into depression, and it was bad. And this was after, I think I probably lost like 60 something pounds at this time. And he had got really skinny. And I was like, what is going on? He was getting real skinny. He was smoking weed every day, like 3-4 times a day. I'm like, something's not right. This is not him. And I started to talk about NutriBurst Plus. It's one of the products we have. And he heard me say how it helps with, it has CoQ10. So it helps with anxiety, depression, and it helps with your heart. Yeah. And he just heard me on live talking about it one day. Mind you, I've never tried it. We have never tried it. And he heard me talking about it. He was like, can you order me some of that? And I was like, yeah, sure. Anything you want, I'll order it for you, because he wasn't even really talking. Yeah. And I ordered this stuff for him, and to this day, if he was sitting here, he swears by that NutriBurst Plus. It helps him with his depression. Yeah. So he started to, as I'm on my walks, so there was times where I used to depend on him to walk with me. Yeah. Like I would be like, okay, if I'm going to go on my walk today, you going to come with me? And if he would be like, no, then I would be like, well, maybe I don't need to walk. And then I started being like, well, he don't make you go to the bathroom, girl. Right. You got to let this weight go. Right. So he would start coming out with me on the walks. And I was like, okay. And then he started to use another product, and he started to gain weight. Yeah. So the craziest thing is I lost 84 pounds and he gained 35. Yeah. And through that, he gained this love for fitness. Yeah. Like, he never would have thought this was going to happen. Like, and then, like, that's why people like, did he train you? He trained me towards the end, because he didn't know what he was doing either. I was like a test dummy. Like, all right, figure this out. If it works like this way. Now he does group classes, and he's like this big old trainer. Yeah. But it's just like, it's so crazy, because we would have never, ever seen this coming. Imagine for yourselves. No. Yeah. No. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. No, but I love that. So a question that I have for you is around you being an influencer. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like I know Sheila Monique, who's not the influencer, mm-hmm. even though, I mean, 2 years is a time, but it's not like 20 years, y'all. Come on, rich friends. But it's like, I feel like I know a different side of you. Mm-hmm. Obviously, what people see on social media, I do feel is very authentic. Mm-hmm. But there is just such a humbleness that you carry about yourself. Like, and you are just intuitively great. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not even, it's light work for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the talks that we have had, mm-hmm. you know, about a variety of things, is like, the way that I see your mind ticking into just always being great in the moment. That's what I really see. Like, that's really what I connect with you. Is like, you show up, you know, you're not trying to make a lot of noise, but you just make a lot of noise, you know, and then once you open your mouth and start talking, it's like, okay, girl, yes, that girl, I want to be on the front line. Where my t-shirt at? Like, yeah, absolutely. But how do you balance that? Because I know, you know, even for myself, you know, having a community, it's a lot to carry, right? It can be a lot to carry, and it doesn't matter how many people it is, right? Because that's just energy that you're attached to. Mm-hmm. So how do you maintain that consistency? How do you keep your energy up? Because you got Sheila Monique, who is not the influencer at home, mm-hmm. with her man and her dogs and, you know, all that stuff, and her family. And then Sheila Monique, who's leading the front line. Whew, how much time we got to answer that question? Okay, no. I will say the biggest thing for me, I pray a lot. Yeah. Like, people just don't even know that about me. Like, I pray a lot. I be sitting around people and just be praying. They don't even know. Like, I have to keep myself prayed up, because you're right. It's a lot of different energies that are coming towards you. And when you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, mm-hmm. and you're rising, people want to attach themselves to it. Yeah. So one of the things that, again, is prayer. I have a dumping ground. Most people don't even know that. I'm giving all my goods on your podcast. I know, all the gems first. Yes. But I have a dumping ground. So a dumping ground is just a space anywhere. It could be in your home, outside of your home, where you dump the day. Yeah. So like, I'll go there and I'll let it go, because I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are going through life. Yeah. And what I used to notice is when I would make a lot of phone calls, I would find myself talking to people who were going through all kind of things. And then next week I'm trying to figure out why I feel depressed or why I feel heavy. And I'm like, oh, I never dumped it off. Like I still carried it with me, and then energy is just transferred. I don't want to transfer that energy to somebody else. So I just asked for it to be removed. And I separate. Like when I'm with you right now, I'm with you. Yeah. Like phone on airplane mode, anything that's happening, I have nothing to do with right now. When I'm at home with my husband, I'm at home with my husband, and I shut the world off. I love that. When I'm with my team, I'm with my team. And I had to learn that because I used to just try to be everything for everybody at all times. And then I would just, it was too hard. Yeah. So like I tell people all the time, when you're at work, be at work. Do the best of your ability, no matter what your job is. But when you go home with your family, don't play on your phone and all. Your family want to see you. Aww. So you need that family time. I was not disconnecting from anything. Like, and it was like for a good 2 years, I was making all this money. I was traveling all over the place. I was doing all these things. But then it's like I almost lost my family. Yeah. Behind it. And it's like, I don't know if people really talk about that. Like, the goal to success is whatever you put on it. But everybody always talks about how they got the Bentleys, but nobody talks about how they got there. Right. And my thing for social media is just to be the most transparent I can be. Mm-hmm. Like, I want you to see that I failed. Right. And I want you to see that I got back up. Right. Like, and I want you to know how many times it happened. Right. So that way, when you're on your step 7, you know, oh, it's okay to fail and just go forward again. But if everybody's just always showing the glitz and the glam, it's like, it's nice. But how I get there, how do I know that I'm in the right direction if I don't ever see nobody failing? And how do I stay there? Hello? How do I stay there? So do you feel that your relationship with God has strengthened on this journey? Or did you feel like, okay, I was already solid with God, I just wasn't necessarily making the right choices when it came to my food and diet? I thought God forgot me. I did. Wow. Like the way things were going in my life, I was like, oh no, God don't know who I am no more. Maybe I made a wrong turn somewhere, and the turn that I made was the way off of God or something. Like, yeah, it was, you know, I used to be, it's like, I don't like saying it publicly, but it is what it is. I used to have suicidal thoughts. Like one time my husband came in the driveway, we were in Georgia, and that was it. Like, I was just ready to go. And he happened to come in the driveway, and I had my gun in my head in my car. Oh my God. And he stopped it. He was like, all right, look. He didn't even know that I had those thoughts, because nobody knows what you're thinking until you tell them. And, you know, I went through that stage, and it's not like I went to a doctor or anything like that. He was just like, you got to figure out what you want to do, and you still have a purpose. And he said it to me. And then for some odd reason, I had just put my hand on my pulse. And in that moment, I said, if you got a pulse, you got a purpose. Yes. And anytime like I'm feeling defeated, feel like, you know, whoa, the world is just me, whatever. You got a pulse, you got a purpose. So I just keep going. Like, no matter what it is, you got a pulse, you got a purpose. You wake up in the morning, I could breathe on my own, I could walk on my own, I could talk on my own. Thank you, God. There's a reason for me being here. I say that every single morning. No matter how good it is, no matter how bad it is, I believe in saying things over your life. And I didn't believe that stuff before. Girl, let me tell you, listen, speaking it is real. Yeah. And, you know, like, I go back to like when God created the earth. Like, he created the earth speaking. Right. Yesterday I was in the shoe store, and I was like, oh, when I can buy myself a pair of those shoes, I'm gonna know I made it. Right. Mm-hmm. You know, joking around. Yep. And so went by looking, you know, that was a certain brand. So we looking. Then this other pair of shoes caught my eye. I didn't even know it was the same brand, because you know how sometimes they'll sit in a different area. Yes. Walked over. Shoes was perfect for what I needed. Shoes was on sale. Shoes was the brand. I said, look at God. God does not, he don't play. He's like, girl, I'm about to show you, you already don't make, like he don't play. Right. And I was sitting at lunch with one of my clients yesterday. And, you know, we were talking about, she's launching her drug testing and clinical lab. She currently has a behavioral health company. And so she was asking me about breath alcohol testing. And I was like, oh, Lord, somebody gonna call me today, Lord. Can they just call when we get back from this Turks and Caicos mastermind? Somebody gonna call. And guess what happened? As soon as I got home, they called. Mm-hmm. And so the power of your words, the words is real. So what words would you speak over yourself right now? I am love, I am bold, I am beautiful, and I am absolutely the biggest thing to hit the industry of network marketing. Let's go. Let's get it done.
I love that.
I love it.
You said some other some buzzwords, right? For me. So number one, you talked about how drinking alcohol was a vice for you. First of all, what's your favorite drink?
A lemon drop with Casamigos. Don't judge me.
Okay, well, I don't drink, so I don't judge. I just ask. I'm intrigued by like the art of drinks, like, you know, how they're made, you know, they're beautiful and wine and things like that, but I don't drink alcohol.
So I will tell you, I just started back drinking like 30 days ago.
Did you?
Yeah, because I used to try to figure out what the thing is with liquor. Like, why do I want to drink it? And I started realizing it's just a social thing. Like, your friends are out, right? A drink. You wanted a drink, so now I just order mocktails.
Right. Love mocktails. Because it's always adult beverages. I mean, alcohol is pushed on us in probably more pushed on us than drugs to me in some ways, right? Like we just act like alcohol is just a norm. I mean, even with alcohol testing, there's no negative or positive. There's a line, right? So like, you're either above a line or above a line based on some standards. So like for the Department of Transportation, as an example, that standard I think is 0.020. So you could be 0.019 and there's no penalty or, you know, there's no recourse or anything. There's just, you know, this standard. And then non-DOT or non-Department of Transportation regulated companies, they can choose whatever standard they want. But with drugs, you're positive or you're negative.
Right.
So I do feel like, you know, alcohol is just, it's not given to me what's the word? Like, it's not, it's like we don't take it as seriously as we take drugs and when it comes to certain things. Another buzzword that you said for me was how hubby was like smoking 3 times a day, right? And I don't know. I think so. I come from a family of addiction, like maternal, paternal, and maternal, paternal, like, you know, deep alcohol, you know, and drugs. And I think, you know, God just favored me. And it took a long time for me to understand that it was favor, right? He just favored me to not really, I mean, I've drank before, you know, I've smoked weed before, but like, it just was never, you know, my thing. So I don't have an appetite for it. But since I'm now in an industry where, you know, core business is drug screening. Right. Like the young man last night, he was driving a forklift. He had an accident while on the forklift. So I had to go down and he had an alcohol test, which that one was fine. And then he also had what we call a saliva. So it's like, you know, just swabbing his mouth and then send it off and, you know, testing for drugs. And, so I have a more compassionate view. I think I used to be very hardcore because for my family, it would just be like just being judgmental, you know, of people because they were doing drugs. But truthfully, you know, some countries like Canada, for example, they view drug use and abuse as a mental illness, as a form of mental illness. They actually do, you know. And so it's just interesting, like the impact that, you know, drugs have. Like a lot of times we think it's going to make us happy, but it actually make us more sad, you know? But your husband is doing amazing. Like I'm scared to work out with him. I'm scared. Like I'm scared to work out. Rich friends, I'm scared to work out with. It's at Maniac Mindset. If y'all ain't never scared, go to at MANIAC MINDSET. Yeah, he the bomb.
He said he's going to change his name because so many people are afraid to work out with him. He's going to change it to Gentle Touch. That's what he said, because everybody's like, I'm too afraid. I'm like, what do y'all think he's about to do to y'all?
He just, you know, he looked like he bring the fire. Like, you know, he looked like he bring the fire and he be working your butt out. Like you be working, you be over there working.
Yeah, but I'm at a different level now. When he first started doing the I wasn't picking up no weights. Baby, I could barely pick up my left leg, okay? Wasn't nobody picking up no weights. Like, no. But he takes every person for where they are. So it's like, okay, if you're at the beginning level, he's not about to put you on what I'm on.
Yeah.
We wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah. No, but I love this for y'all. And I really love, what y'all are putting into the, putting into the universe. And so the last question that I have for you is, just tell us more about Frontline and how people can really, because people are, everybody's struggling with something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care. Like, optics are one thing. Everybody, there is not one person out here. Either you struggling with your weight, you struggling with your mental, you struggling with your money, you're struggling with your man, you're struggling with your kids, you're struggling with your family. Like, you struggling with something, right? And so the fact that, the Frontline program is a program that is not specific to any one thing, but it simply gives you a formula for getting on the front line of your life. Exactly. How in the world do my rich friends, what do? Do they just follow you, click the bio link? Like, what's the next step that they can take to get on the front line?
So for your rich friends, all they have to do is send me a DM and just say, Sheila Michelle.
I love that.
That's it. That's all you have to do. And I will take them through the steps that they need to be taken through after that. But I will treat them with special because of it.
Ow, do y'all hear that? See, that's what I'm talking about. Membership got its benefits.
Hey.
Membership got its benefits because I know that I do as a coach. A lot of times I come in contact with folks. They're ready to start their business. They're ready to get to the bag, but there are things that they actually need to be doing before that.
Yeah.
So maybe they need to get maybe they need to stop yo-yoing in their budget. You know what I mean? So maybe they need to show themselves more affection. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta have like a personal touch to yourself, like as an entrepreneur, like, you gotta take care of yourself, right? Or maybe they need confidence because in order for them to get in rooms and get people's businesses. So it's like that stuff is not stuff that I teach in my drug test center and clinical lab launch. I'm working on that on my mentorship side, right? But I think that if Frontline is a program where it doesn't matter what problem you're trying to solve in your life or what level you're trying to go to in your life, like this is a formula for you. Like this could be a formula that they actually take advantage of before they come over here with me and launch their business.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, when it comes with the consistency that you said, to me, the confidence comes from doing something over and over.
Yes.
The consistency of it. And yes, they're going to need to do certain things. They're going to need to make sure, I love her. They're going to need to make sure that, their finances, they're ready to be open with their finances. Yeah. But the biggest thing that anybody needs to do that wants to get on the front line of their life, they have to be ready to make that decision.
Wait a minute, hold on. What rich friends, go tell them one more time.
I said the main thing that anybody needs to do in order to get on the front line of their life is they need to make the decision. That's it. Like make that decision and just go forward. When we decide, it rhymes with homicide, something in us has to die.
Ooh.
So the old version of you, you have to be willing to let that part of you die and know that it doesn't serve you anymore. So now that we're taking the steps to say, no, I'm going to be on the front line of my life and I'm going to make sure that my weight is together so I feel confident in that dress when I walk into that room. I'm going to make sure that I feel good, look good, smell good, do good. So that way when I do sit with Sheila, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know, Sheila Michelle, I know that you can take me from here and make sure that I have a lab business, make sure I'm up, make sure I'm running. Yeah. And the reason why I know that is because I know your business structure, but I know myself.
Yeah, girl, come on.
Let's see.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
That's what they need to do.
And to think you were thinking about taking all this away from the world.
Still got a
I'm so glad God didn't allow that.
Thank you.
I'm so glad he didn't allow that. And that's the last buzzword that you said. You said purpose. Because I really, really feel like how people get themselves in any situation they don't want to be in is being out of alignment with your purpose.
Come on.
So if we know what our purpose is and we made the decision that we're going to operate in our purpose, we can't get out of line.
Right.
We can't get out of alignment with ourselves. We can't get out of alignment with God.
Right.
We can't get out of alignment with our family. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get out of alignment with our real friends. Yeah, I love that. Now, rich friends, before we let Coach Sheila Monique get out of here, we got to know what she up to in case we need to pull up. What you got?
I love Bowman. In August, we're going to be going to St. Croix. I'm going to be taking women from the Frontline Academy there for an amazing excursion. So my goal is every 90 days to go out the country.
Yeah, let's go.
With the women. And there's some men. It's so crazy. Like, it's so many men that are like, hey, I want to be on the front line. I'm like, well, come on. So every 90 days, we'll be going somewhere out of the country together to really show them how to really be on the front line of their life as well.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here. For one more time, please introduce yourself again to the people.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sheila Monique. I am the owner of Frontline Academy. You can find me on Instagram at Coach Sheila Monique. If you want to go straight to Frontline, it's Frontline Academy. You can also find me on Facebook, Coach Sheila Monique, YouTube, Sheila Monique, anything you like, Sheila Monique. And TikTok and Twitter is coming, Sheila Monique.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I love you, girl.